Got the monkey, I got the funky, I got the Marfoogle fam. I got the monkey, I got the funky, I got the Marfoogle fam. I got the monkey, I got the funky, I got the Marfoogle. What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. If you guys have never been here before, this is a live call-in show. Today's going to be a little bit different. We're going to speed through a lot of topics, so make sure to follow along on marfooglenews.com. First off, I just want to let you guys know the views normally of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone with the show. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. We have a lot going on. Obviously, we have a lot of chatter going on, so I'm going to go over that. This is almost like something that we should probably be doing. We're going to be doing certain things. I am going to be trying to send out an alert. I'm going to work on that tonight. Again, a lot of people talking about what is going on over this next weekend. So we're going to talk about that briefly. I'm going to hit the news as fast as I can to keep you guys caught up. Introduce Dex. Dex, just so we can do a sound check, let's get you in here as well.
Hello, Adam. I'm here. And hello, Foogle fam.
So we're going to go over articles that people can access on our website, marfooglenews.com. When you go there, we actually back up everything we say with a bibliography of sorts. Today is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be shouting out the chat. But also, there is... we do not believe we'll have a normal show tomorrow or on the 4th. I'm going to spend the 4th with my family, but tomorrow I think that there's going to be some time for us to actually change things around, and I might be changing around my studio. So this is the last time you might see this background, just period. I'm going to try to use your guys' vacation as kind of a work day. So anyways, on top of that, I don't know. I'm actually going to be meeting up with some friends, and we're actually going to be watching out for pretty much anything. There is a lot to say out there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, it's kind of hard to say on any platform, really. So stay tuned. I'm going to be hinting towards that later. Let's get into the news. I'm going to say what's up to everybody in chat. Let's see here. We've got Gone Girl 777, Forever Charlie. We've got Gem here, Kim Possible, What the Ayak Star. Thank you guys for being here early. Verbron, Chaos in the ER, Angela 4110, Debbie O. We've got all sorts of folks in here. Barefoot Lass. We've got Dan Wilson. I've never seen that one. I don't know if you're a Seahawk or whatever. I guess that's another one, but anyways. Benji Fish, Shift 67, what is going on? Marfia Necro 13. We've got Sippy Doodles and Tony 617. And I'm going to be going into the YouTube chat as well. We're probably going to put something out on the 4th or tomorrow. It's not going to be a normal show though. And most of you guys probably already know why. Remote Chris, thank you for saying hit that like button, show some love. I appreciate that. I always forget to say that. Again, if you press the like button, when you get a whole lot of them, then YouTube's algorithm automatically, it has a hard time stopping the videos from being shared. Bobby Bolin, thank you for that as well, saying WWG, 1WGA, where we go one, we go all. And then Remote Chris says 3 nights in a row. Fabulous. KLW World News Live Breaking News. Thank you for following. You probably followed because I asked you to come on the show. I did make a comment on one of your videos. Again, you were talking about some of the things I've heard in the background as well. I might point you guys to that video. Somebody sent me that video. I've never heard of the channel before. They're at about 1,000 subscribers. And I was actually surprised. It was a gentleman who actually worked with... he says that he worked alongside testing EMP devices in a place where the military would use and test them against their own equipment. and he had some pretty interesting things to say. I did share that over on Twitter. Again, at Marfoogle, you can go over and follow that anytime. Follow along at marfooglenews.com. I'll just show you real quick. If you go there, you'll see everything I'm talking about. I am going to end up linking this. Dex is going to be updating the website as we go if there's any breaking news that we need to get in there. I don't know why everything is just like... We have also had several just weird things happen all over the world. You've got the entire world actually kind of getting up in arms about the entire USA situation. They are tearing down statues all over the world now in the weirdest countries. We've got all sorts of stuff. So here's our website. You can actually see it's organized by thumbnail. You'll go to this. It says, "Will the lights go out?" And that's what I'll be talking about today. Again, nothing is absolute. You know what I mean? Like, I would say there's a lot of things being said that are not true right now. This actually has all of the articles that we're going to cover. I'm going to cover them in a fast pace here. Now, just to start this off, let's see here. Boom, boom. Seattle police forcibly clear lawless protest zone. So we were kind of covering this yesterday. Again, they have actually cleared CHOP, but on top of that, what I've heard is that they are still face-to-face with a bunch of protesters. So I don't know if I'll be going down there last minute to check on what is actually going on. I know that people have been bumping heads down there. There's a lot of difference. Now they've taken out all of the dividers. There's nothing there. It is literally just, picking up garbage, cleaning up after all of the graffiti that was there, and people are pissed off. Last night, up until 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. on a regular weeknight, again, I know that a lot of people still are not working, but we had fireworks going off everywhere. And I'm not talking about like little buzzy bees or spinny dinglies or dingly danglies or whatever the heck you want to call them. These were no sprinklers. These weren't even cannon ones. These were like extreme. One of them sounded like it blew up on the ground. And I was thinking, man, is that person okay? It did not sound like it even went up. It sounded wrong, like something went wrong with... Like, I don't know if you've ever had a tube that goes off in the tube, one of those cannonball things go off in the tube. It's much louder and it's much lower. It sounded like that. I honestly thought that I would hear an ambulance after it because it sounded horrible. And then people screaming, like bad screaming. So then all over the neighborhood, it's everywhere. And these are like professional grade. These are way bigger. And for those who haven't heard what kind of fireworks are going off right now, they don't understand. But for those of you that have seen it, this is thousands of dollars worth of fireworks every night for an entire month. Who has the money during a recession, during unemployment, during all of this, to literally blow their money on the most expensive kind of fireworks? Like the kind that, if you're hearing it for 6 hours straight, that's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. You're talking about that times everybody in your entire neighborhood. And it's all the suburbs that are doing, it's really weird. Like this is getting under my skin. And when you kind of hear about some of the stuff that's being said, that is what's freaky. Again, I'm not here, scared of anything. Again, that's why I'm taking precautions. I say that if you prepare and face things face to face, then you are not as afraid. But I would say that you should be prepared for anything on all holidays, all big occasions, because we live in a different world than we did before. Not just saying the new normal like 2020. I'm talking about after 2001, after all of the events that have happened magically there. So again, they've cleared that out. That is a big deal here in Washington and Seattle because people are pissed off about it. People did not want it to happen yet. And of course, July 4th is the big protest day. One of the biggest. We have so many protests planned everywhere around the world that this is going to be absolutely nuts. I highly see something as far as like not being able to stream live from a lot of these happening. What I've noticed is if there are big bad events in downtown or rural areas, what they can actually do is they can look at the phone or the mobile streamer and say, we're not going to allow that kind of stream. They've done it before. They did it to me and a bunch of others. In fact, right when the riots first started, it seemed like you could not get a solid actual like phone live feed. You could get a desktop live feed, but you could not get a cell phone live feed. Cut immediately. A lot of them were saying like community guidelines. Well, proof of this is when I was downtown, literally just kind of walking and saying, well, this area is actually pretty calm, blah, blah, blah. Boom, done. It said copyrighted or against the guidelines. When clearly I was just walking and talking. There was no music. There was no nothing. So, and then later that day, we realized that all over Twitter, people were saying, I can't do a stream from my phone. I can't do this. I can't do that. So I wonder if that's for the safety of the audience, that they don't see anything super horrible or whatever. Not going to argue with it. As far as I foresee something like this, some people are saying they are concerned, and we're talking about experts as well, and even people in the government are concerned that the 4th has more planned than meets the eye. And again, that's up to your research. You guys can look at some of the links that we've posted. You can also look at some of the public and mainstream articles that we've pulled up as far as how they are protecting certain monuments and things like this. Some think, oh, nothing's going to happen. That's fine. I hope not. It says, this Independence Day, the district will be filled with events to reflect on the problems and the promises of the nation's history and current events. Many organizations invite participants from across the racial, ethnic, sexual, and gender spectrum to unite and make their voices heard. A G. Floyd Memorial March on Washington is Saturday, July 4th at 9:30 a.m., so kicking it off right in the morning. It says the march begins at the Lincoln Memorial, and then with speeches and continues down the National Mall to the Washington Monument before occupying the Eclipse just south of the White House. Now, if there was going to be something really kind of bad, these are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people across the world that are going to be gathered. If there was any other time for something crazy or weird to happen, this is where I would put my money as far as if I was going to bet on something crazy. So again, where I won't be is probably in some of these bigger crowds. So that's just my personal opinion. If you guys are doing something, like I said, go on Twitter and let me know what you're doing. If you're going to go out and watch the fireworks from the protest, I guess, because actually the protests have actually replaced a lot of the fireworks in other cities. Again, we try to stay as neutral as possible. At this point, though, I would like to say I really do care about my Foogle family and all of the people in it. And I hope that everybody is just very safe, keeps their head on a swivel, and watches out during this holiday season. Because obviously now we have a whole different kind of set of things that we're looking out for. If you guys want to, go ahead.
Yeah, Adam, real quick, I just want to mention, like what you're talking about in DC, that's just one of like 6. They're going on all day long in DC, and every other city's got multiple. So, I totally wholeheartedly agree. Everybody should pay attention. This is definitely a different time. I mean, I just rewind a year ago, 2 years ago, the 4th was all about celebration, and now it's all about protesting. And our protests haven't always been the most peaceful lately. So it's best for us to do our part and make sure that we're, well aware of what's going on.
We're trying to be careful and obviously not just disappear off of the face of the planet. But at the same time, that's why we're asking people to sign up for marfooglenews.com/alerts. It's free. We actually pay for the service because there are so many people subscribed to it. So we actually pay to get that information out. So we do appreciate you guys using that. Again, sign up for an email. That's about it. And we don't blitz. We send like one a month or one every 2 months. Again, if it's that is our system. If we were to get some pretty serious or any kind of really legitimate information, we would send it out through that. Or if we are changing plans or changing channel names or something, if we were going to do that, then we would put it out through that. That again is marfooglenews.com. Now this says Atlantic City protesters could clash with Pagan Motorcycles Club. This is just this is from the New York Post, so this is not like, the Inquirer. It says the Atlantic City officials are trying to thwart a GF protest on July 4th that could bring in counter-protesters from the Pagans Motorcycle Club. So remember, we heard the rumors about all the motorcycles, truckers, and all these people coming into Chaz, or Chop back when it was Chaz, and saying that they were going to come and cause ruckus. It ended up being fake. Or here's the thing. It wasn't necessarily fake. There were people talking about it that were part of those groups, but they weren't anybody that had, the official position to be able to say anything like that. And that is partly where that came from. A couple of the high guys in those groups said, oh, I might just do this, or we might just get our boys together, or this or that. That from them, since they were in kind of a middle rank, high rank, people took that and they kind of rolled with it as a story, which is wrong. But again, it was kind of like hypothetically like, oh, we should go down there and kick their butts. That ended up turning into like 2 days of headlines because people were saying, oh, this is going to happen. It turned into virality on Facebook. People, totally scared. Even some of the people on the protester side did not go down there because they were worried about it. That was all over forums and websites all over. So it's like, that's how fast something, just a simple comment or something taken out of context, can turn into fake news. Like people want to call anything but the approved source is fake news, but we don't like fake news either. We don't like something that guides people into something that isn't right. Right? I think that we should just ultimately be super careful about everything. If we were all adults and could figure out, hey, we should do some research and actually look for facts before we believe things, then we wouldn't have censorship, right? Then nobody would have to do this, all of this weird stuff, right? Because people wouldn't just believe things. In one certain point, though, it is pretty sad. People will see somebody with a convincing accent or somebody who says something with conviction, and they will believe it. And that's honestly a bad part about a chunk of our people is if somebody says it with conviction, they're like, okay, that's truth. That's not necessarily the case. Or if they kind of twist it into something that makes sense, or a confirmation bias. We are all having confirmation bias go off at all times. Right now, there's a lot going on that it's almost like when you've been putting pieces together for a couple years and then they all start clicking, and the faster they start clicking, you're going, whoa, slow down. That's how fast things are clicking together right now. That's how fast all of the stuff's clicking into place, and keys are turning, and then all of a sudden doors are opening, and you're like, whoa, close the door. It's getting way too windy here. If you get that analogy, I hope you do. It says, as far as the Atlantic, I don't know if this is going to go down, but again, much to our warning, our Foogle fam over there, and make sure to keep that in mind.
Yeah, a quick comment on this, though. This whole notion of conflicting protests. I've seen this in other areas where people are saying it looks like multiples are being set up and they're obviously conflicting. So why are they doing that at the same time or in the same location? Because that's kind of like not a good thing.
No, it's not. I mean, you can literally have one, it's kind of like having a dogfight convention during the PETA convention or something. It's just not, I don't know if they have dogfight conventions, but you guys get my point.
There's plenty of hours in the day. You can shuffle things around by a few hours.
Exactly. On the other hand, if you guys want to support us and protect yourself, this is a big deal. So we have worked with EMP Shield for over a year. They work with DOD, DHS. They are officially a part of the DEMSO team protecting the Texas grid. What this does, if there is the event of an EMP, if China or any other country or heck, somebody in our own United States basically sets off an electromagnetic pulse, This will protect your house. If you get one for your car, it will protect that. Your solar system, it actually protects any device. There's all different kinds of devices that protect different things. I've been telling people to get this for over a year now. If you don't get it through us, get it through somebody else. If you do go through us, it helps us with a small commission and it helps the channel. But either way, I am telling anybody and everybody, go around us, go to a different creator. If you want a discount, you can go through somebody else and not go through us. I would highly suggest doing this. If we all had this, we would not have a giant problem. In fact, everybody should be pushing everybody, or the government should actually be, this would be awesome if this was subsidized as part of a tax return. You also get an EMP shield, because they are actually signing bills trying to make our grid stronger. We just found out again, all the experts are saying China is literally plotting and planning and doing, basically simulations of us having our power go down by their hands. So if you want to protect yourself, go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. It is a big deal.
And Adam, one quick thing to add. I heard from Andrew. He's running a special right now for the 4th of July. So there's a sale going on that they have. And he said he was going to make it so you can actually use both our code and the sale they got going on. So you can actually combine a discount and get a really good deal right now.
Those guys are freaking awesome. If you've anybody who's ever had to deal with Andrew or anybody at that company, again, it's veteran owned and it's all American. All right, and then we've got U.S. South Africa report new record CV rises. Again, with this, we are seeing all of a sudden the entire world, all of the numbers going crazy. I would like you guys to point out, go to the stories I've been sharing. Routers put about a month ago about the Tanzania president, things like this. Go Google that kind of stuff. There's also a ton of new tests. So a lot of people are, kind of arguing, saying, well, yes, of course there's new numbers because there's thousands more tests. There's tests going crazy. They also had in there, they just put out a little thing that says if you, it might show up as a positive if you had a cold. That was actually in the paperwork of these tests. So I thought that was pretty funky. Not a good way to get a false positive, right? It says the United States and South Africa have both reported record new daily CV infections, with U.S. figures surpassing 50,000 cases a day for the first time. Remember, we were just talking about this a couple days ago, and I think it was like 40,000 or 30,000 a day or something. It just jumped up crazy, and they said it could get up to this, and now it's like 20,000 past that. So what is going on here? Obviously, we are seeing this means, let's just talk about the result from this. This means more lockdowns. This means, 6 months more of lockdown. When they said this is going to go into 21, 22, obviously they meant it, because I don't see this going any way other than a bad way. That's just my personal opinion. With this and everything that is going on right now, it's really, really freaky. Which, by the way, I don't know if you hear that. Military choppers going over us. If there was anything else that could, if 2020 could throw anything our way.
Maybe they're from Oregon.
I don't know. I just saw somebody tweet in Oregon and in California, and the gentleman who was in that video yesterday. I just thought that was funny. Everybody's having them. It says local spot elite Night Stalkers helicopter unit practice. Listen to that. There are no coincidences, right? It says local spot elite Night Stalkers helicopter unit practicing black ops in Oregon. What are the odds of that? About to read about this, and then they fly over. Locals living Gosh, they're loud. Locals living on the Oregon coast spotted by a group of helicopters running dark late Wednesday night, which turned out to be the Night Stalkers. Yes, that's what they call them, Night Stalkers, the U.S. Army's most elite chopper unit, made infamous by the Black Hawk Down incident during the Battle of Mogadishu in 1993. Dude, this is a lot. I wish you guys could hear this. That's so nuts. It sounds like there's either more or they're swooping around. After a local contact reached out to the Warzone journalist Tyler Rogoway for answers about a strange incident late on Wednesday, the reporter was able to later verify that a group of helicopters from the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, or SOAR, flying out of Joint Base Lewis McChord was responsible for the disturbance. So Lewis McChord, that's okay. So that's like right there. The testimony passed Rogoway describes a trio of helicopters flying low enough that they could be identified even on a cloudy night and stir up plenty of hubbub in the town the next morning. It says it was hard to tell being how late it was and how dark with cloud cover, but they were low enough to be able to see the underside of the aircraft with some detail. It was what appeared to be an Osprey with two other helicopters flanking it on the underside. They may have been Apaches or Blackhawks. They were going somewhere in a hurry and flying in a tight formation. Only the Osprey had one red light on its tail, they said. So this is exactly like the video I just took about a month ago, where the three helicopters were in formation. People said that they were Ospreys, but then there was that one, just the meanest looking choppers you've ever seen. These things, to see those coming at you would be so freaking scary. Those things are just absolute beasts. I would be proud if anyone in my family flew one of those. If you have somebody in the family that flies one of those, they are just literally a badass. All right. Sorry. I'm done. It seems like they're just, that's the craziest. What are the odds? But I guess, again, this is out of Lewis McChord. So, and yeah. So there's something definitely, lots of drills going on, lots of things going down. But why? Manhattan apartment sales worst on record, biggest plunge in 30 years. Manhattan apartment sales in the second quarter saw their biggest decline in 30 years and the worst quarter on record as the real estate lockdown and the urban fight after the CV-19 crisis put a freeze on the market. So I'll just tell you right now, this is not just in New York. This is everywhere. Seattle, I know at least 3 people that either run apartments or work in real estate, and all of them are saying that everything is like paused right now. Nobody has the money, deposits, anything to get apartments, to get houses, to get anything. Everybody is holding on to their cash. If they're already in a place, they're not moving because nobody knows where this is all going. Again, for somebody to drop just huge chunks of money on a house or on a house deposit and not knowing if we're about to just head into the biggest recession of our lifetimes, I could see how this would stop a lot of stuff. If you're in real estate, let us know. Let us know in the chat what's going on with your business. We've got.
Hey, Adam, real quick, I can tell you where I am. What's interesting is we got the reverse because everybody's coming, not necessarily to Atlanta, but like out into the burbs and areas, and we don't have enough housing. So prices have gone up. Nobody can find a place to rent. We've got people that are coming in, obviously relocating from big cities, whether it's Atlanta or New York.
So they're going because it's
Yeah.
cheaper there.
Because it's cheap, and they're trying to get out. Like they don't want to live there anymore, right? I mean, there's lots of reasons why you don't want to live in New York. They're not making it very hospitable at the moment. But yeah, we're seeing the exodus, I guess is what I'm saying, where I am.
Yeah, no, I could see that too. Here is one of the most expensive places in the world to live. An average one-bedroom apartment is $2,100 a month. That's right, $2,100 for a dinky 700 square foot one-bedroom apartment. I think it was like $1,800 for a studio, so that's like no bedroom. Two bedroom is like $2,200, $2,300, $2,400, and you're talking about, you know, 5 to 4 to, I guess it's, you know, some of the things that have actually gone down. Seems like milk has actually gone back down, but there's just all sorts of necessities here that are so much more expensive, and people here don't even realize it because, you know, it's everything that we see, right? But when you go somewhere else or you go into another state, say if you went to Arkansas, man, geez, you just absolutely, your money goes 10 times farther. I mean, people are paying $500 a month for rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the country still, even though that's rare to find. There's about 10 states where that's actually that's where it is. Yes, there's more work here, but it doesn't make the difference. The minimum wage, even at 15 in some places in Seattle, still doesn't pay. If you do the math on that, if you're working 40 hours a week, 80 hours per check, it's literally barely enough to, I mean, I don't even know how you could even survive unless you had 2 jobs. I always had 2 to 3 jobs, but I also was lucky enough to, early on, I always had a job that was better than minimum wage. But I can't imagine even working, like back when I was being paid $15 an hour, the minimum wage was like $8. So I was making double that, and I was still having a problem. So it's just nuts how everything is going up, but at the same time, everything is getting screwed over. I mean, this is bad. Texas Ann says, love the show, Marf. Thanks for all you do. Dixie Doe says, go look. We will all wait. I know. I wanted to, but that's okay. It's gone now. I know. So I know my wife so well that when they go over our house, I absolutely know if I wasn't on a show, she would like come grab me and go, hey, come look. Or she would get her phone out and videotape them for me. So I'm lucky to have a wife that thinks exactly like I do. When we hear the helicopters, we go, even if it's like you don't know what it is until you look. That one, that was multiple. That was like, I mean, you can hear the difference between some of them. Some of the, the emergency helicopters, they get pretty loud when they're really fast. When they're really rushing, their blades can go really loud. And then the police helicopters actually have 2 modes. They actually have a loud mode that makes people make bad decisions. When you hear that chopper, it's actually something that affects your physical well-being. Like, you know, the criminals actually sit there and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so loud that it freaks them out, and they don't make smart decisions. And then we've got I Am Lost 27, Renegade PD, Jen Lay Awake. MG Toe Forever says, you're awesome, Marf. Thank you, MG Toe. It's nice to see you here again. Deer Hunt Nature, what is going on? Thank you. You can always write a message or say what's up to somebody there. Thank you so much for that. M. Hatton says, thanks, Marf, I guess, and Dex for all you do. ML and standing strong in faith in SoCal. Well, from South California to Seattle, I'm really wishing you guys luck down there because you guys are just as bad as us. Io Leo, thank you for following, and as always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. EOD Vet says, what did you think of the Red Horse Rides on July 4th interpretation of iPet Goat 2? I didn't take that in. Compared to what I'm actually talking about with some of the other stuff, that is, that's why I'm being incredibly careful. 5 years ago, I probably would have said that's crazy, but now I honestly, like me and Dex were talking, I would not be surprised by anything now. Nothing would surprise me. Project Exodus, absolutely super thank you goes out to you. Thank you for the Ninja Guinea. Says big hello from Dina and Gage. With a name like Gage, I don't even have to tell you how badass you are. Okay, Cali Kit Kat says lots of Osprey activity in SoCal for months now. Well, Cali Kit Kat, you guys actually have a lot of drills, but on top of that, they have been doing weird drills since last year in California, like the drill where they went down and picked people off of the rooftops, all of that. Like, do people not put the pieces together of all the things that have been going on the last 2 years? The White House and Washington, D.C. having those weird drills just a few months before this, actually having helicopters go and swoop down and do all this stuff. And then when the protests happened, they actually went in and swooped down, used the wind from their blades to disperse people. Like, it's absolutely nuts that these things were being practiced beforehand. And then Stamper Love, we've got Baldy Locks Awake. It says sold house here north of Nashville for 150% more. Oh man, if you're lucky enough to get a property in Seattle and wait 5 years, it's nuts. My aunt and uncle bought a house for $850,000. They saved up until their 60s, bought it for $800,000. Now it's worth $1.6 million about 6 years later. Absolutely nuts. A $1 million house isn't even what a $1 million house was. When I was a kid, and that's not that long ago, a $1 million house was a house on a hill, a mansion house with a theater room. You know that mofo has a theater, and you know that mofo has a pool. Now $1 million house is like, oh, well, there's a bus stop 3 blocks away. It's crazy. Reed 55, Barefoot Lass, up north 10001. Thank you guys for the ice cream. I appreciate any donation, so thank you guys. Franklin St. Hex, thank you for following. As always, if you subscribe, you will get a shout out. Vibron, thank you for being here. K-Taj, PMC 2020, Cutthroat Mom, and then we've, of course, got all sorts of Kihaja Fly Girl over here, so thank you so much. Nameless Block and Stiletti. It's nice seeing you here. You haven't been here in a couple days. And for Skeeter, thank you guys. And then it looks like Amber B. Subaru is here. It says, I love this show. I love Marf and Dex's work. Thank you, and have a happy 4th of July. Amber, you have a very safe, happy July 4th. I honestly mean that. And seriously, be careful. Keep your head on a swivel. Paul Crane, some love from Tacoma. Best show on the tube by far. Thanks, Adam and Dex. Paul, that's awesome. And again, be careful in Tacoma. I would not be by the stadium or up the hill by McKinley or anywhere like near there. Quiet Storm. I have already saw an article saying that the lady associated with EpiPen, sick with CV, post dated 7/11. BBC News. So saying that Ghislaine or whatever, Maxine or whatever, is sick with CV, post dated to 7/11, so 9 days from now. Oh, that's weird. Watch if that happens. If Maxwell or whatever ends up getting CV in 9 days from now. That's pretty weird. If you can send that to me or tag me on Twitter.
We have an update on her later.
So yeah, again, there's some good people that cover that in our Foogle fam. They were covering it like the second it happened. I know NPC show was showing that like literally the second it happened. You guys can check out him. He is our biggest and resident Foogle fam Q-tuber. I guess because you can call them Q-tubers. Not a bad thing. And then Ed Crater, thank you so much for your support. Bobby Bolin, again, listen. Okay, that one's... It's just crazy. I'm... nuts. Students in Alabama threw CV parties to see who would get infected first. Are you kidding me? I could see how this would be a joke at the party or something, but come on. This is BS. It says several college students in an Alabama city organized CV-19 party as a contest to see who would get the virus first. It says out of Tuscaloosa City Councilor Sonia McKinstry said students hosted the parties intentionally infect each other with the new CV. Yeah, probably because they're smart people. It says McKinstry said party organizer purposely invited guests who tested positive for CV-19. Are you kidding me? This has got to be a joke. She said the students put money in a pot and whoever got CV would get the cash. It makes no sense, McKinstry said. They're intentionally doing it. Maybe one of them has like somebody very high up that is like telling them, you know, hey, what's going on with that? Yeah, go ahead, do that. I don't know. It says not only do the doctor's offices confirm it, but the state confirmed that they also had the same information. Is this in Tanzania or is this here?
That's a crazy story, huh?
It does. I mean, I believe it. College students are dumb,
Yeah.
but are they dumb? That's
This is very different than having a measles party, right?
well, yeah, but the thing with this is because they say that you can possibly get it again. So if you only got it once in your lifetime or something like that, like back when they used to have measles parties where you would have your kids, if one of your kids in the group of your friends would have measles, you would actually invite all of the kids together so they would all get it, because you only get it once in your lifetime. It's itchy, it's crappy, and then you're done. And then you don't have to worry about it again. So it's kind of like get it over with kind of thing. This is a real thing. Younger folks don't remember that, but I do. I'm old enough to be at the very end of that. In the 80s, they were still doing it, or at least, my parents did. I remember I got it from a kid that we actually purposely went over to their house. So I was part of the whole measles party thing. I'm not saying it's suggested or whatever, but that's how they used to do it back in the day. With this, they publicly say that you can possibly get it a second time and it would be worse, and it permanently damages this, and it has every symptom of everything. So, what are you going to do about it? Dex, would you go to that college party though?
No, not a chance.
You wouldn't be like the movie Old School. You wouldn't be like Old Boy Blue.
If I was, I'd be in full on PPE.
Whoa. Okay, I thought this was going somewhere way else. Okay, I'm glad that personal protective gear. Okay, got it.
Exactly.
That's my boy Blue. You are the best, Tom and Jen Lay Awake. Baldy Locks Awake, thank you, and Jen Lay Awake if you are here. So that's awesome. Thank you guys for watching together. It's awesome that we have so many married couples in the Foogle fam. Noah's Ark Renegade PD. Stefan Diaz says, I haven't missed a show, but can't always post. Stefan Diaz, that's not a big deal. It's funny though, when I see a name that does post after a while, I know. I watch. It's crazy. I'm somebody who can see the names and I remember if they're there or not there. I was just telling April Osborne. April Osborne just got through with a good surgery, and I noticed that she was gone. And, she was kind enough to be like, sorry, I couldn't mod. I'm like, are you kidding? You're doing that. Like, sorry that you even wanted to come in and mod during that. More like a Darwin Award party, permanent damage, says Ayulin. Exactly. There's a lot of opinions that are going to be in that Alabama city. Those kids are, even if, no matter what you think, that's just dumb. Let's see. Edgy Whalen, Cutie Pie, Angelica, also somebody who always makes it. And then Jazzle, I haven't seen you here for, I don't think I've ever met you actually. Okay, and then remember, you guys can go to marfooglenews.com to get our alerts. Ryan reports accident at nuclear site, warns enemies. So do you see how things are kind of adding up here? I always think it's weird that right before major events, there's always some little, here's a little quiet setup.
And I want to ask this question as you go through this article. Is this the same thing we reported on the other night when we said, oh, don't worry, it was just a fuel explosion? Because that was what the report was. So I don't know. That was near a specific site. And I don't know if it's the same site, but this is not a repeat, but we're seeing more and more of this stuff going on, right?
Didn't we just see a massive radiation spike? Somebody was covering that?
Yeah, that was coming out of in Europe.
Okay, so totally separate radiation spike, because
I think we have that one too, unless you skipped it.
In here?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we do. That's right. Spike in radiation levels registered in Europe by monitoring stations. However, due to a lack of data, I thought we covered this yesterday. That's so weird. Or was that a separate one?
No, there was another one that there was one that was saying the Russians were saying it's not us. They thought might be something coming from them.
Well,
that was
okay, all right.
That was a big cloud.
Okay, do you remember?
But now we've got other measurements. So there's numerous things are happening right now.
Okay, well, with Chernobyl, they didn't register it until it was super far away, and not to mention if it gets high up enough in the atmosphere, couldn't it technically be from Ryan? And I'm saying Ryan on purpose. If you don't know the show, it's a filter word, so we do a spoonerism.
I don't know how the jet stream runs over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of in my mind think it runs towards India and to China, or Asia, but I could be wrong.
That is literally we've been covering this for a couple weeks now. However, due to a lack of data, European monitoring agencies are having trouble identifying the exact source of the contamination. But guess who one U.S. media outlet has tried to point the finger at? 4 European countries, Finland, Norway, the Netherlands, and Sweden, have reported registering an area of increased radioactivity stretching across the Baltic Sea and covering parts of Russia, the Baltic states, Finland, and Sweden. The Netherlands National Institute of Public Health and the Environment, RIVM, has said in a statement that isotopes of iodine-131 and cesium and cobalt and ruthenium have been detected by stations in Norway, Sweden, and Finland. The concentration of the radioactive isotopes in the air, however, is far below the level needed to cause any harm to local residents. Yeah, that's what they told us in Chernobyl. So, first of all, imagine just being, just doing your thing, and a powder comes down, and it's from, hundreds of miles away, and that powder literally kills you in a matter of months or days or minutes. That's super crazy. I mean, at any time, this is why I tell people to get iodine and to have little things like this, because almost everybody lives at least, somewhere near a nuclear power plant or something. I mean, even if you don't, there's military vehicles that are run by it, or the subs and things like this when they transfer stuff. You never know. This stuff is just nasty. As far as this goes, what actually happened here, we don't know. And then we have Mr. EpiPen confidant Ghislaine Maxwell arrested on abuse charges. It says the British socialite and heiress who became a confidant of disgraced financier Jeffrey EpiPen was later implicated in his alleged crimes. This was she was arrested by FBI. So there's more and more that make me go holy crap, Q,
Well, what was interesting about this for me is I was sort of following this, especially after the Netflix special came out. Following her, trying to figure out what's going on. It's why wasn't she arrested? And everything I had heard and everything I'd researched said she was in France. And then all of a sudden they get her and she's here. That's really strange.
It's super weird. That's what I'm saying. That's why I would not be surprised by anything. And if there was just all of a sudden 1,000 people that get arrested, or the whole Congress goes down or something, I mean, why are they planning for continuity of government? They've got all of the leaders in Cheyenne Mountain. So that's some pretty weird stuff. Isn't it weird that they're still in Cheyenne Mountain? kind of crazy. They have to set up for continuity of government because it's a backup just in case. So there's, some Kevin Bacon or some last or designated survivor somewhere. And I know it's not Kevin Bacon. It's what's his face from 24. Can't think of his name.
That would be Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
There's some Kiefer Sutherland in Cheyenne Mountain with them. Either way, so these were all of the main headlines, you guys. We're not doing calls tonight. We are not doing other stuff as well. I wanted to make sure that we got all of this out. We will most likely, I'm probably going to be doing somewhat of an alert. In fact, Dex, I need to get you right after the show. But we do have one thing here. First of all, go to our website, marfooglenews.com. If there's anything, any of the products that you want to support us, you can go ahead and do that. Make sure to start protecting yourself with an EDEC bag. These bags actually protect against all RF. Once you put them in there, no one is tracing your phone, your tablet, anything. These guys work with FBI, DOD. Again, this is something that they use so people don't remotely wipe their evidence, if you know what I mean. But these bags are the absolute best. So again, don't get some stuff made, crappy materials or anything like this. These are the grade A best bags you will ever see. As far as the EDEC bags, again, that's marfooglenews.com/EDEC. They also have a utility bag with a window so you can actually access your phone. Again, people will go, well, what good is a phone without service? There's plenty of things a phone can do without it. In fact, your kids can still watch videos if you download them to your phone. That's what we've been doing. Then they can't say, oh, well, you were at a gas station next to John Smith over there. So instead of doing your plans for 4th of July, we're going to put you in this hotel for a little bit. Either way, Quiet Storm 121323 says, I already have seen that article. Paul Crane says, by stadium, you mean the school or Cheney? No, I'm saying Tacoma Dome. Just saying, that's something I heard locally. Paul Wilson, oh my God, Snohomish County just posted immediate job openings for emergency management workers. Start July, possibly through December. Paul Wilson, send that to me, tweet it to me. In fact, connect it on @Marfoogle. If you guys haven't been over to @Marfoogle, get on there, but also get me on Parler. @Marfoogle as well, I think. Yeah. Still new
Yes.
to Parler. Ilea, PG&E has been flying super low in my area this week. It's part of their wildlife prevention. PG&E. So I guess those are just like normal helicopters, I'm assuming. So the power company. Shirley Curley says, happy 4th, appreciate you. Betty Williams, love your show, been prepping from beach. Betty. That's awesome. Let's see here. Just posted the supposed article on Twitter, says Quiet Storm. Perfect. Louis O. Burns says, Wolf is watching 4. Oh, I think I get what you did there. Wolf is watching. That's so cool. Thank you. S. Nort says, still loving your show. S. Nort, thank you for showing up. It's probably been a couple months, right? Or a month since you've been here. And I know people watch but don't comment. Prilby says prayers. Ty Cause says thank you. April Saffel says Jesus Christ is Lord. Johnny Doom and wifey. Johnny Doom, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in the comment section either. John Raxness, thank you. Says the early bird gets the worm. I'm loving the early show. Cheyenne Ophilicans, thank you. And then again, MG Toe forever. Tons and tons of people have always been on the D-Live side of this. And Auntie M, hope everyone has a safe 4th of July. Much love to the Foogle fam. Again, please keep your head on a swivel over the next couple days. I am being absolutely serious on that. Please be careful as you possibly can. If I've ever told you guys before, which I don't do it very often, please be careful. Pink Shadow, be safe over the 4th, everyone. Stiletti, Miss Jackson, Reed 55, please make sure to get on Marfoogle alerts. Reed55, thank you so much. I haven't checked out your channel in a couple weeks. It says I got a 4K camera and my computer's GPU slowed. There's different kind of formats that you need to use, Reed. Maybe we can help you out there. Again, Reed does awesome sky watching videos. Scooby Dooby Do Right, Clark and T. Riders. Unicorn Forest, a Newberry 8, Happy 4th Fam, #1 channel in my opinion. Barefoot Lass's prayers for Gettysburg, please. I love that meme of that whatever that sign is. That's like it's on a skyscraper. I think it's William Penn, and the meme is "Come get me, bitches," because he's like 400 feet high. It's pretty funny. Anyways, okay, so I love you guys. Again, I not really doing a shoutro either. So Dex, thank you. I just want to stress
Thanks, brother. Good job.
The seriousness of the next couple days and just being prepared, not being scared, always having a plan, always having an escape route, always having your area mapped out, where you are, who you're with, where everybody is. Do checklists of kind of in your head where everybody's at, your kids. If you have kids, make sure to let them know if anything happens, what to do. Do it, turn it into a game, turn it into something that's fun, even with earthquakes or an event kind of thing. If you hear loud and, just make sure to do all sorts of fun drills on that. Thank you. Much love. Again, if you guys want to support us in any way, we're trying to build something that can replace Discord. It looks like we're going to have to build our own thing. So if you want to help support that in any way, of course, you can use our Amazon link. You can go to our website. All of our sponsors are on the side of every day's page. Love you. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out.
I got the funky. I got the Marfoogle fam. I got the monkey. I got the funky. I got the Marfoogle fam. I got the monkey. I got the funky. I got the Marfoogle fam. I got the monkey. I got the Marfoogle fam.
Salt and pepper, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. Not gonna salt and pepper you. Gotta run with the S, gotta go down there. Got the pilby and the tacos. Got the apron and the sappho. Gonna breathe in the raffle. Gonna go get shot in. Oh, Filikins MG. Told forever. Got a deer hunt and there. Gonna get that M-hat-M. M-hat-M gonna be there. Just connect it at down. Gonna bring it back down now. Gonna do it like you know now. Got the hoppins and still that day. And the nameless block and day. Gonna bring it all the way back down. Gonna do it and everybody know now. Miss Jackson 206. Coming right back and you know this kid. Push a limp pad, going on ahead. Gonna bring it back down now. Lighten the jack that the mouth can't crash. And that deep rail and the shy. Side load rolls and the rest of them know. Gonna bring it back like a man, oh man, oh. With the man, oh man, one. Gonna do it like a hot wire bar. Hey, pan in the unicorn forest. Gonna do it like you already know this. Hey, Necro 13. Gonna bring it back round and I know green. It's gonna do it like the vibes that's having. Gonna do it back like heaven. Calling, going back and hauling. Going.
I got the monkey. I got the funky. I got the Marfoogle fam.
I got the bushes and play, and the A-play. Got the deep rail and everybody's name. Got the stone magic, thanks for following. Going back, brain. Gotta do it now, gotta bring it down. Gotta bring it back around. Hopping still and the stamp of love. Gonna hold up, gonna be the buff. Gonna be the buff, gonna be the buff.
Foogle fam. I got the monkey. I got the funky. I got the Marfoogle fam. I got the monkey. I got the funky. I got the Marfoogle fam.
Got the echo pepper and the bad Billy Buck just don't give up. And the Scanhead family, don't. Gonna bring it back and you know that.
the Satire, gonna bring a sorry. Whitetail 7 and the rest of the story. With the bones and the key tie. Oh, we're out back and you know right to buy. Down to a lease, gonna see. Gonna be the nappy soldier in me. Hey, nighty, gonna hit it back one, baby mommy. I'm gonna bring it back with the all polished down. Going back around now, you hear that sound. Gotta be about that now. We pound like I'm stamping. Got it on the stamp of love. Gonna bring it back, love. I'm gonna do it now. Check a while, back about. Oh yeah, Ryan Alter on the Michelle now. No lie, nobody cares. Oh, that Betty Sue sing all true. Hey Susan Cresswell, gonna be well. No, but not Susan Maxwell. Gonna own the Ghislaine. Going back round in the fast lane. Hopefully she won't get the death penalty. Just kidding, that sarcasm, man. Bring it back now. Got the Ali, I lose her emo. Gonna bring it back and you know, I love the way you love. Got it love like a tornado and the rest of our history. Marfoogle news, going back to doing what you do. Gonna bring it back, going down. If I hold someone that you don't like, gonna bring it down, gonna bring it down.
Have a good night. Have a good night, y'all. Be safe, be